Gaza every day where there's no homes left. There's not much left for people to go back to, those that are living in camps. And we went to Egypt in November, alhamdulillah, where the Al-Quds Foundation was responsible and provided things like tents, water, humanitarian aid, ambulances. You were all part of that project. But for our viewers that continually support the struggle of our brothers and sisters, maybe from Maulana's side, give us an idea of how the Al-Quds Foundation has been involved and providing assistance for the very many years.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Jazakumullah to Hilal TV for the wonderful opportunity that you provide, and you continue providing us with your support, alhamdulillah. The Al-Quds Foundation, and let me just take a step back. A great leader, the likes of Maulana Ihsan Hendricks, that many regarded as Al-Sheikh Al-Aqsa, was instrumental in the establishment of the Al-Quds Foundation. And ever since his passing on, rahmatullah alayhi, the Al-Quds Foundation continued serving. And under the leadership of the person that we would regard as the most senior person in the liberation struggle in South Africa, none other than Fadilat Sheikh Ibrahim Jibril Hafadhahullah wa Ra'ah. And so the Al-Quds Foundation has never stopped serving the cause of the Palestinians. They will continue to do so. And therefore, during this particular establishment of the Al-Quds Foundation, it had nurtured relationships with the Hamas-led government in Gaza. It had built up a relationship with NGOs, relief institutions. It has contributed, I'm talking prior to 7th of October, towards the projects that has shaped the need of Gaza, keeping in mind that for 16, now 17 years, Gaza has been an open-air prison. There had been a limited amount of resources that has been able to enter and so forth. So the educational needs, the medical needs, the spiritual needs, as well as the agricultural needs and so forth and so forth. So those particular fields and areas has continuously been engaged with the people in Gaza. 7th of October came, and Allah let us continue our services, obviously, with the extent of genocide and the level of what has been intended by the Zionist occupiers to wipe out Gaza, to annihilate Gaza, to the war of starvation, to excavate people from the places where they live. It has changed the whole scenario of outreach. However, because of those standing partnerships and relationships, whilst due to the situation, the line of communication would become blurry due to the situation, it has never ceased. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. There continue to be a relationship between the Al-Quds Foundation and the people on the ground in Gaza. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And that is the message that we wish to share with our viewers. We will continue serving the people of Gaza, inshallah al-Aziz. We give you the commitment that your contribution towards the people of Gaza will arrive at the people of Gaza, inshallah al-Aziz. And Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we can do so because of our commitment, long-standing, and because of the partnerships that we have developed over the many years. Alhamdulillah.
We've also managed to arrange various pickets, various marches to highlight the cause, not just for the Muslims around the world, but for the non-Muslims as well, who've also contributed and have really come out in support of the genocide, to end the genocide in Gaza at the moment. What were those campaigns like, Maulana? Do you feel that, obviously there's not enough done, but the little bit that we've done, has it made a difference?
Let us compliment the South African society. The South African society are looked up the South African society are looked up extensively by the people of Palestine, across, be it in the West Bank, in the city of Al-Quds, Masjid al-Aqsa al-Mubarak, or in Gaza. They've acknowledged the massive contribution of South Africa. Having said that, the people in Gaza, as well as the Palestinian people, have been occupied for 75 years. And they consistently stand facing the brutality of this Zionist entity. They have not tired. We cannot be in a mode of being relaxed or in a comfort zone when our brothers and our sisters face the brutality of Zionist occupation. And hence, part of the Al-Quds Foundation, and this has also been part of, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, a very successful program, Brother Luqman, of consistent raising the consciousness of the South African society by coordinating meetings, coordinating pickets, coordinating marches, and being in the forefront of engaging with government officials and with NGOs and with others and others. And we do so specifically with the mother body, that is the Muslim Judicial Council. Now, having said that, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, if you want to reflect back prior to 7th of October 2023, then it should be noted the huge and massive marches that has been driven by the Al-Quds Foundation, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and it has brought all other stakeholders on board. Because fundamentally we are saying the issue of the Palestinians is a humanitarian issue. The humanitarian rights has seriously been violated. Every aspect of human rights has been violated. And therefore we are appealing to the community to say, you must keep the spirit of these marches alive, the picketing alive, the consciousness in terms of engaging with government and government officials, as well as with NGOs. We must keep it alive. And the Al-Quds Foundation is most certainly an area where you can be able to rely upon. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Maulana, the devastation is still happening. The genocide is still happening. Inshallah, we want to reach that where we start the rebuilding of Gaza, inshallah. What is your message to the public out there to keep in mind when they contribute, when they donate, and when they make dua?
The greatest inspiration is indeed the people of Gaza. Despite the genocide, the positive message that comes from there in all sectors of society, can you imagine they have not stopped providing the world with statistics? And they can meticulously tell you what has been demolished, what has been destroyed, the number of people that has died, the number of children. I mean, for it to be conducted in that particular professional way. And by the way, it is against the face of the Zionists that wants to undermine those particular statistics. Lancet, one of those leading international global institutions, they've escalated the numbers of people that has been murdered and killed and brutally been facing these massacres. Likewise, so that is an inspiration. The other inspiration is they've not stopped their learning and teaching. The students has not stopped becoming Hafiz al-Quran. They have not stopped learning and teaching, and therefore the overall South African poster that is out of our speaks about Gaza unyielding, marking 1 year of the genocide. Because all of those particular positive messages that comes out of Gaza, it is an inspiration to you, South African, and to the global community to say, we cannot stop. We must continue our solidarity, our support, our contribution. And the Al-Quds Foundation is most certainly one of those particular institutions, your go-to institution, inshallah Aziz, to ensure that our voice will provide the necessary support our structures will provide the outreach to the people in Gaza, and may Allah alleviate their pain and their suffering. May Allah bring this siege and this genocide to an end, Ya Allah. It is only Allah, and that is one of the most important convictions that comes out of Gaza, to say, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. We place our trust in the hands of Allah, and Allah most certainly is the one that will help us through this particular genocide. Can you imagine 365 days of genocide, and the people still live? They have the spirit of life, they have the spirit to educate, they have the spirit to showcase the world that they are ready to support and to give the positive message. Allahu Akbar wa lillahi alhamd. We thank Hilal TV for being a very able supporter and the voice for the Al-Quds Foundation.
I mean, Jazakallah so much, Maulana, for all your efforts, to all the brothers and to all the families that have contributed towards the success of Al-Quds as well. May all your projects go from strength to strength, inshallah.
Jazakumullah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. And that's Maulana Abdul Khalik Ali from Al-Quds Foundation, always ready to give off his time and give off his amazing work to highlight the plight of our brothers and sisters in Gaza. Do stay tuned. We'll be back after the break.
Evil to the hate, to the lies they create. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free.
Discover Khan's new store, a cutting-edge destination for premium meats, fresh produce and delightful bakery treats. Unwind in our cozy setting while enjoying expertly crafted light meals. With secure parking and a seamless shopping experience, Khan's is where shopping is redefined. Visit us today or call 011 672 2105.
There's certain things that I went through that gave me a wake-up call. One of the things was...
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. South Africa, I can't wait to see your beautiful faces, inshallah wa ta'ala. By the blessings and the mercy of Allah, I'm coming to a city near you, inshallah. So make sure I get to see you, and let's bring the youth back to worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Come over to SA's best network. Visit us at MTN Lenasia, Trade Route Mall and Signet Terrace. Get in touch with us and let our professional team assist you with the best deals.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to a very special edition on the 7th of October. And we're calling it the price of freedom. We all know the devastation that's happened in Gaza, that's escalated since the 7th of October 2023. And I had the privilege of visiting Egypt in November with this amazing organization called the Al-Quds Foundation, witnessing firsthand some of the assistance that they've provided that's much needed assistance that was provided to our brothers and sisters in Gaza. With me now in studio, joining me is Sheikh Shahid Isso. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Luqman and our viewers of Hilal TV, mashallah.
Jazakallah so much, Sheikh, for coming in to studio. The Al-Quds Foundation has been assisting Gaza for a number of years. Alhamdulillah. And, with the help and assistance of various donors, gracious donors, sponsors, the assistance has been going to the right hands. But unfortunately, during that time in October, there was a block that assistance couldn't go in because of the increased attacks. And then it Alhamdulillah, opened in November again as well. But to give our viewers a bit of an idea of the type of assistance, because we take this for granted every day. We take this liberty for granted that we can go to the shop, we can make food, we have access to food and water. But to give our viewers and to paint that picture of the need and the extent that was needed in Gaza, would you kindly do this for us?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa sallam Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Brother Luqman, it is actually a very desperate situation that we have in Gaza in particular, in terms of the blockade that is there and the siege, which means all the borders are actually closed. And when we had the 7th of October happening, the borders were closed and nothing was allowed to come in or out. Mm-hmm. And so when the situation, of course, became more aggravated and deteriorated more and more, it means that a very limited amount of trucks were allowed. At one stage, no trucks were allowed. Mm. We even put money into buying and purchasing goods in Egypt, loaded trucks, send the trucks to the border at Rafah. And the trucks had to wait and wait and wait. And there were so many trucks. And of course, there was an appeal from international organizations, from the UN, that the borders must be open, aid must be sent into those desperate people that are without food, without water and shelter, etc. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it fell on deaf ears, and the impunity just continued, and the bombing just continued. And when aid went in, it was extremely limited aid and could not even suffice for those who were in need of actually the help. Mm. So even today, not enough aid is being sent in, is being blocked. Mm-hmm. And of course, we know that the Zionist state of Israel is trying to control all the borders, in fact, also the Rafah border, which is a border actually between Egypt and between Gaza.
Right.
But they also control that border. In fact, they bombed part of that border.
Correct.
And forced it to be closed.
Correct.
So those were problems that caused logistical problems for goods to be sent in. And of course, we know that the infrastructure, most of the infrastructure were bombed and people were displaced.
Absolutely.
At this moment, we're looking at more than 2 million people out of the 2.3 million people are displaced.
Correct.
They are moving all the time. There is no safe zones. They speak about it. There is absolutely no safe zones. We know that the bombing has been indiscriminate. Even the refugee shelters where people are in tents have been bombed.
Correct.
So Gaza is a prison where you can't get out, and the Zionist Israeli regime is bombing the people within this prison where they cannot get out. So this is the very sad situation, and we know that the situation has been identified by the International Court of Justice as plausible genocide. And all the factors, you look at it, applies in a situation of genocide. Mm-hmm. And they should be more aware of what are the issues in genocide, because they got a history of genocide and the Holocaust. Yet they do the same unto others.
And I think this is where most of us in the world seems to be more shocked and astounded that a culture, society that that went through all of this is now doing the very same thing as well. Sheikh, since the 7th of October, most of the world has come together to support and highlight the atrocities in Gaza. However, there were a lot of countries, people that were not really that interested in supporting and highlighting the cause for our brothers and sisters in Gaza. What is your message to them?
I think today we have a challenge of the nation states when national interests trump justice and human rights. And people are not prepared to stand up because they will be sanctioned in some way or the other, or they will lose some benefits or the other. So it's all about their own interests and their country's interests, particularly the governments of those countries. We see the different situation on the ground from the masses of the people, where the world has all come in support of Palestine and understand the situation. So normal lay people have taken up that banner and also the struggle, and they have been protesting and marching all over the world and putting pressure on those companies that are supplying, of course, Israel with weapons and other things. So they've been putting pressure in the different, particularly in America and Germany and France and the UK. They are all part of this, where they are complicit in the genocide that is happening in Gaza in particular.
Absolutely.
So yes, to the world, we are extremely happy about the groundswell that is happening from people on the ground understanding the situation. But it's extremely unfortunate to know that governments and people that speaks about liberty and freedom and equality and human rights, it's become a big farce and bigotry in this world. Double standards at its best.
Of course.
And this is the sad part, is that when people stand up and want to fight in the name of liberty and want to demand justice and want to interfere in countries that they find there is some atrocities happening. When atrocities of this nature happens and it's not serving their interests, they tend to ignore it. So human life is less important to them. Some are more human than others. Some are more equal than others. And this is the sad situation. Where is the justice in this world?
Absolutely. Being in South Africa, being an organization that's based in South Africa but has many ties around the world, how difficult was it for the organization to provide assistance during that October-November period? Did you have to link up with other organizations? Did you have people on the ground already that could take humanitarian aid into Gaza?
Alhamdulillah, I think the Al-Quds Foundation is established now for 20 years that we are working, and consistently we've been working with the Palestinians and supporting all the projects in the country, particularly Gaza, but we have also projects in the refugee camps in Beirut. We also support in the West Bank. We support in the 1948 area, which is in the Jerusalem area itself. And then, of course, Gaza has become the most desperate area where most of our resources are now focused on Gaza because of the crisis that we have. So over the years, we have always supported, and particularly the orphans and widows, and the high unemployment. Just the high unemployment and the youth that are without work, etc. There's such a situation that they need help all the time.
Of course.
I mean, if the minimum unemployment is 50%, it's even higher in Gaza. So we have those serious challenges which impact on the quality of life of families and the, just the standard of living that they have to endure. So we've been sending in aid in different form, whether it is food, whether it is the Qurban that has gone in, whether it is the Eid clothes that we send. We even send toys for the children. And of course, we have the issue in Beirut with the refugees, where we support a masjid and the Hafid school that is running there. We have also programs of funding students in particular from Palestine to specialize in different fields of study so that they can return to their country and be part of the reconstruction and serving their country and their people. Because we've seen now what the Zionist Israeli regime is doing, where are they destroying, scholasticide is happening, where professors and educators and doctors are all being killed. And they're being targeted. So we find that very key people and highly professional people have been targeted and killed in the process. We need to work now on educating a new generation and helping to support building that country and providing the necessary expertise. So I think this is part of our contribution. We are limited in what we can do, but there are many other organizations like Miles for Smiles. There's, of course, Islamic Relief that's doing work. There's the Gift of the Givers. There's Al-Imdad is also there. There's also Africa Muslim Agency and many others that are working in the area. So everybody's trying their best to contribute and help in the situation. So our situation, we are focused on raising money and to support the Palestinian projects that is there to help the community and to alleviate their trauma and their suffering and whatever they need. So whatever we can help with, we go out of a way to have pledge lines, fundraising, etc., raise the money, and then physically send it to others or coordinate with another, particularly Miles with Smiles, or we take the money because there's no banks that are operating.
Correct.
So physically you have to travel, do forex exchange, go over, buy things, and then load the trucks and send it to the borders. Fortunately, you were there to even witness what happened.
I was on the ground with the team, and we had to drive hours to get to warehouses and ensure that the much needed aid was then sent via various methods to Gaza as well. Sheikh, it's been an absolute pleasure having you in studio. Jazakallah so much for taking the time. Jazakallah for always been there for our community, for being there for our brothers and sisters in Gaza, and may your efforts continue for many, many years, inshallah.
Ameen, inshallah. I just would like to end off and say that we have taken up the baton of having the Mahrajan Al-Aqsa, which is the huge festival. It's the rally where we get all international speakers. That will happen on the 19th of October, inshallah. It will be here in Cape Town at the Castle of Good Hope. And we hope to bring about this international awareness into our city. Sure. It is a public event, and of course we encourage all our communities, our NGOs, our activists, the academia, the professionals, and everybody to come participate and share that day with us. Inshallah. There will be a special conference. People will see the media posters, they can join us, and if they need to participate, they need to inform us timelessly, but it will be open to only 200 delegates that will attend the conference, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah so much, Sheikh. All the very best. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That's Sheikh Shahid Issa from the Al-Quds Foundation on our very special programming for the 17th of October. I'm your host, Luqman Shadrack.
Evil to the hate, to the lies they create. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free.
One child, one dream.
A journey with Africa Muslims Agency that began 3 years ago has changed the lives of Syrian and Palestinian refugee children beyond their dreams. Help them to continue their education by sponsoring a student at the Amman School of Excellence in Lebanon for 25,200 Rand per year. Education at Amman can provide a brighter future for refugee families. Africa Muslims Agency. Empowering, educating, inspiring.
Business is an evolving commercial and industrial landscape. And with each evolution, there is always an increase in fraud and fraud-related incidences. Fraud does not only concern itself with pecuniary interests, but also engenders reputational risks. Tayfin is an independent and empowered firm, qualified and certified to assist in withstanding indiscretions committed against entities that are vulnerable. We do so with the adoption of science, with the highest integrity, and in the interest of justice. We therefore subscribe to the principles of science, integrity, and justice. Our specialty expands beyond the purview of forensics to the extent that we further specialize in auditing, accounting, liquidations, business rescue, taxation, and peripheral disciplines. Turnaround management is a key success to the sustainability of any entity, and our commitment is equally applied, regardless of the size of a firm. We therefore remain the empowered choice.
Carpet City has a variety of Musalla carpets for your masjid, Jamaat Khana, home or office space. Having over 30 years experience, we offer design consultation, expert installation and after-sales service countrywide. Contact us today.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your brother Bilal Asad, and you are watching Hilal TV. And I am excited to announce that I'll be coming to South Africa this October, inshallah. Inshallah, I'll be visiting the following towns: Johannesburg, Durban, Cape Town, and Pretoria. So make sure you reserve your seats at whiteflame.com. And I have a special message from your brothers and sisters all the way from Melbourne, Australia. Hope to see you soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Sawans, your Islamic family store. At Sawans, we have an extensive selection of products to suit your Islamic lifestyle. Break your fast with our dates. Get fitted in our latest garments. Whether for him or for her, increase your knowledge with a book or memorize Quran with an audio. Win hearts with a memorable gift. As a family, we're constantly striving to provide your family with the best quality products at affordable prices. Sawans, your Islamic family store. Your family's convenience is our commitment.
Basic to beautiful, to must-have exclusive pieces, eye-catching trims to match. The newest offerings from the most innovative designers, exquisite beaded and embroidered fabrics, all now available only at Pay and Save.
Discover Khan's new store, a cutting-edge den for premium meats, fresh produce and delightful bakery treats. Unwind in our cozy setting while enjoying expertly crafted light meals. With secure parking and a seamless shopping experience, Khan's is where shopping is redefined. Visit us today or call 011 672 2105.
Children of Gaza, Allah's plan will come true. This promise is for you. With patience you'll get through. From the evil to the hate to the lies they create, Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the evil to the hate to the lies they create, Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to a very special edition on this 7th of October, our program called The Price of Freedom. As we know, we are all making dua for the liberation of our brothers and sisters in Gaza. There have been many NPOs that have assisted in the humanitarian aid, much needed humanitarian aid in Gaza. One such NPO is Islamic Relief, and I'm very privileged and honored to have in studio the CEO and Country Director of Islamic Relief South Africa, Brother Yusuf Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Yusuf.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, Brother Luqman, and to the viewers of Hilal TV.
Jazakallah so much
for having us.
No, it's my absolute pleasure. Islamic Relief has been one of those organizations that's been on the ground even before the 7th of October as well. But it's hard to believe that it's actually years gone by, where the destruction, the devastation has continued. And when we see pictures coming from areas, certain parts, the north, the south of Gaza as well, it's hard to believe that there's still life after watching this devastation as well. And maybe with Islamic Relief being on the ground, I thought who better to invite into studio to give our viewers a better understanding of what is happening on the ground. Can you maybe give us a brief overview of the man-made crisis, let's face it, because that's what it is, and the destruction that your organization, Islamic Relief, has been responding to for the last year?
SubhanAllah, where does one start? As you said, 365 days of brutality, of massacre, of killing, of suffering and devastation, which I don't think we've witnessed, which the world in current times has never witnessed before. And the fact that it is happening in full view of the rest of the world makes it so much more painful and really unbelievable. We've witnessed over the last year how Israel has completely and continuously violated every international law that one could imagine, and human law or human rights law. They've bombed buildings, destroyed homes, medical facilities, along with that killed tens of thousands of people in full view of the rest of the world. And the world, to a large extent, I mean, by and large, apart from, and we are so proud of our South African government for having taken Israel to the International Court of Justice, the world has by and large remained silent, which we have to say, by extension, is that we are complicit in the massacres that are happening right before our eyes. And it's unbelievable that it's been allowed to continue for so long. And as we see now, it seems to be escalating into the other areas. In fact, we hope that it doesn't happen, but by all accounts, it seems that we could be in for a fully fledged war in the Middle East.
It does look like
and
it.
that would be devastating for the region.
Absolutely.
And for the world.
Absolutely. Obviously, since the 7th of October, the humanitarian aid need has tripled, trebled, quadrupled. Like you said, we've never seen something like this before in our lives, and inshallah we may never have to see something like this. But your organization, Islamic Relief, has heard the call, has assisted. Give our viewers a bit of an idea of the magnitude that was needed, and I'm sure it was just a drop in the ocean of what is still needed. But to a large extent, Islamic Relief was there to assist where possible.
Yes. As you mentioned in your opening remarks, Islamic Relief has been in Palestine since 1997.
Alhamdulillah.
In Gaza at the moment, we are the largest international NGO that is working in Gaza at the moment, apart from the UN agencies. Alhamdulillah. We were in Gaza before the 2006 blockade of Gaza was imposed.
Right.
And our team has been working in Gaza since then, without stop. And we were there when this current escalation on the 7th of October last year, when it started. Nobody had any idea what the result would have been. But here we are, 365 days later, more than 42,000 people have been killed. 1/3 of which are children. There are over 90,000 confirmed. And these are the confirmed numbers. 90,000 people injured. And we know the situation in Gaza at the moment. Gaza was always in a crisis, even before this escalation. And what happened after the 7th of October has just increased the suffering of the people in Gaza. At the moment, hospitals are literally operating on the bare minimum. In most cases, they don't have sufficient equipment. People have to wait for days sometimes for the basic medication and the materials that they need to perform essential operations for that to be allowed across the border. So the situation in Gaza is unbelievable. And I mean, as has been, not by South Africans only, but internationally now, it's been called what it is. It's a genocide that we are witnessing before our eyes. So currently in Gaza, I mean, alhamdulillah, as you mentioned, Islamic Relief, our team was there. And just to also, give clarity on the matter, Islamic Relief, when we say we have a team in Gaza, our team in Gaza are Palestinians that live in Gaza. They live there with their families. Currently, our team in Gaza, many of them have been displaced as everybody else in Gaza has been displaced from area to area. There are areas in Gaza that are unreachable for us because we have to consider the safety of our staff. If our staff are not safe, they are unable to deliver aid. So, yes, there may be certain areas that we are not reaching, but at the moment, alhamdulillah, Islamic Relief is doing as best as we can, with the limited resources and basically also the restrictions on movement within Gaza.
Of course.
So when the escalation started, we had some items that were already in stock, because we have warehouses in Gaza. Our programs in Gaza are ongoing. Many of our programs in Gaza are on dealing with the issues that Palestinians face on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And many of those projects had to be suspended so that our team could focus on the immediate need, which is emergency response. People need the very basics to survive because people's homes have been destroyed. Initially, we were doing distribution of food packs and food vouchers because the stores in Gaza still had some, they had some items available. We immediately, within the first 2 weeks, we distributed over 2.3 or close to 2.3 medical items that we had in stock. And at the moment, we are actually supporting a hospital that the capacity of the hospital should be 2,000 patients.
Right.
But it had, because of the need, they are currently dealing with about 10,000 patients in this medical facility, and Islamic Relief, alhamdulillah, is supporting this facility. We are currently also the largest partner for the World Food Program.
Okay.
By Allah's grace, again, because like I said, we've been working there for years. We have very close working relationships with the other international NGOs as well as with the local organizations. So we run 24 kitchens in Gaza. Primarily in the south and the middle part of Gaza. We had one kitchen in the north, which is, again, depending on accessibility, it doesn't function all the time. At one stage, Brother Luqman, we were distributing 400,000 ready-to-eat meals per day. 400,000. And the reason for this is because people don't have the means to provide food for themselves.
Absolutely.
They don't have the means to cook the food. So food, like, food items as such, where people need to cook their food, is of not really much value because they don't have the means to prepare the food. So alhamdulillah, we prepare for the World Food Program alone about 200 to 250,000 meals, and the balance of the food we prepare. Apart from that, we are providing water to around about 80,000 people. As water becomes available, we've got access to the people that have been displaced, that are in many of the camps now, living in tented camps.
Yes.
And many of them are living actually in informal areas, basically seeking refuge by whatever means they are able.